Welcome, SpaceX fans, to the Belated Tech Musings channel. This video is a compilation of all the relevant Dragon 2, SpaceX's first manned spacecraft, animations, interviews, and news conferences, all in one place with a runtime of only 30 minutes. We hope you enjoy this montage and encourage you to view some of our other interesting science, technology, and entertainment content. Part 1. Elon Musk unveils the Dragon 2 crew capsule for the first time.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to Hawthorne, headquarters of Space Exploration Technologies. We're here to unveil Dragon version 2. Dragon version 1 is right above your heads. In fact, this is the first Dragon spacecraft that came back from orbit. And you can see the scorch marks on the heat shield, the thrusters that are fired. It's a real spacecraft. And I'll tell you a little. I'll start off by telling you a little bit about the Dragon version 1 before showing you Dragon version 2. And when we first created Dragon version 1, we didn't really know how to create a spacecraft. We'd never designed a spacecraft before. So while there are a lot of interesting technologies in version 1, it does have a relatively conventional landing approach. So it throws out parachutes to land in the water off the coast of California after it comes back from the space station. And it does have a life support system, but not one that can last for a long time or carry a lot of people. And so it's a great spacecraft, and it was a great proof of concept. It showed us what it took to bring something back from orbit, which is a very difficult thing to do. Usually when something comes in from orbital velocity, it burns up in a big fireball. So, but going from Dragon version 1, we want to take a big step in technology, really create something that was a step change in spacecraft technology. And some important characteristics of that are the ability to land anywhere on land propulsively. So that's one of the things that Dragon version 2 will be able to do. So you'll be able to land anywhere on Earth with the accuracy of a helicopter, which is I think something that a modern spaceship should be able to do. And it'll be capable of carrying 7 astronauts for several days. It has an improved version of our Pika heat shield, and it's all around, I think, really a big leap forward in technology. It really takes things to the next level. So with that, let's see the Dragon version 1. We're going to do the countdown here. All right. Oh, Dragon version 2.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
So we have an animation that shows you how Dragon version 2 will work. So let's roll that animation. So that is how a 21st century spaceship should land. So they haven't said it. So I'm sitting here in the pilot seat. And pull it down. So we've aimed for something with the Dragon version 2 for the interfaces and for the overall aesthetic of something that's very clean, very simple, so as the pilot, you were able to interact with the screens overhead, control the spacecraft, and then we've got all of the critical functions that are needed in an emergency situation as manual buttons. So that's what you see in this area here. Yep. Yeah.
Part 2. SpaceX releases the first Dragon 2 interior animation. Part 3. Musk discusses the need for propulsive landings for Dragon 2.
What we're trying to do with Dragon 2 is, or the new crew Dragon design, is be able to land propulsively with precision, which I think is kind of the next generation. Like if you consider the first generation was parachutes to a water landing, then arguably sort of wings and gear. Landing legs, landing gear. Then like the sort of third generation is propulsive landing with precision. I mean, if you saw a movie about the future with aliens landing, how do they land? Like that. Okay, obviously. They don't like, I mean, it'd be kind of weird if the aliens landed in the ocean with parachutes and like, okay, nothing to fear. Like Boeing's like trying to take it like slightly improved because like it's got airbags, but it's still an imprecise landing. You know, it's somewhere in a huge expanse of desert, and it's basically landing on airbags and kind of crashing in the desert. You know, like okay, that's okay. That's one way to land. But I think the future has to be precise propulsive landing because that's what you need to go to the moon or to Mars or anywhere else in the solar system, and that's the thing we should be focusing on.
Part 4. SpaceX runs abort testing for the Dragon 2 capsule.
Features on Crew Dragon is our launch escape system, which is a huge advancement in the safety of human spaceflight. In 2015, we demonstrated the system during our pad abort test. Now, the launch escape system is outfitted with 8 Super Draco engines that are directly integrated into the spacecraft body. This enables Crew Dragon to maintain escape capability from the launch pad all the way to orbit, a feature that no other spacecraft in history has ever.
Part 5. Musk announces that SpaceX has abandoned propulsive landings.
Quick question. I heard that Dragon is no longer planned to land propulsively. Is that true?
Yeah, that was a tough decision. Dragon is capable of landing. Dragon 2 is capable of landing propulsively. Technically it still is, although you'd have to land it on some pretty soft landing pad because we've deleted the little legs that pop out of the heat shield, but it's technically still capable of doing it. The reason we decided not to pursue that heavily is it would have taken a tremendous amount of effort to qualify that for safety, particularly for crew transport. And then there was a time when I thought that the Dragon approach to landing on Mars, we've got a base heat shield and side-mounted thrusters, would be the right way to land on Mars. But now I'm pretty confident that is not the right way, and that there's a far better approach. And that's what the next generation of SpaceX rockets and spacecraft is going to do. So just the difficulty of safely qualifying Dragon for propulsive landing, and the fact that from a technology evolution standpoint, it was no longer in line with what we were confident was the optimal way to land on Mars. That's why we are not pursuing it. It could be something that we bring back later, but it doesn't seem like the right way to apply resources right now.
Part 6. SpaceX releases an updated animation with a parachute landing.
Countdown net. Pad is clear. Go for launch.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, liftoff.
Ignition.
Dragon, separation confirmed. Visually confirmed.
Mains have been deployed.
Part 7. Musk mends fences with NASA in a joint taped discussion.
the words end-to-end. So all of the systems and all of the subsystems, they've all been tested over and over again.
I mean, so, a lot of testing.
Yeah.
And I mean, this has really been a joint effort with NASA. The spacecraft would not be nearly as good as it is without the input from NASA. There's been a lot of NASA help here, and thank you for that.
Well, we're very grateful for what you're doing, helping us launch American astronauts from American soil once again. And of course, these gentlemen here are the beneficiaries of that. And I can only express the best that I can how proud all of America is with who you are and what you've done and what you represent. The entire world is going to see us launching again to the International Space Station. And this time when we do it, it's different. In fact, NASA is a customer. And as a customer, we become one of many that will be using this crew vehicle if all goes according to plan, and we'll have a robust commercial marketplace for spaceflight. And that commercial marketplace could be sovereign countries, it could be individuals that want to go maybe on vacation to space, which I know sounds crazy, but I'll tell you, and you know this, those folks are out there, and there's a lot of folks that are ready to do it. Of course, they have the same dreams and ambitions that all of you had when you were coming up, so it's an exciting time.
I think this is a good step. It really is getting people back in orbit.
Yeah.
It's a step towards, like, ultimately. I mean, what I really want to see is, permanent base on the moon, permanently occupied human base on the moon, and us building a city on Mars. That's like, I can see the beginning of that before I die. I'll die happy.
Well, the president's first space policy directive to me was go to the moon, and the word in there is sustainable. So how do we go? We don't want to recreate the Apollo program.
Exactly.
We don't want to leave flags and footprints and aqueduct. We want to go and we want to stay. And this time, that means landers, rovers, robots, and humans in a sustainable return. It doesn't mean at this point we're ready to have, as you mentioned, a city on the moon. But what it means is we can put together all of the components that enable it to eventually be sustainable. And part of that is reusability.
Reusability is fundamental. A fully reusable vehicle will cost 100 times less per flight than an expendable vehicle. And it kind of makes sense. Think of any other mode of transport, it could be like jet aircraft or cars, bicycles, horses, every other mode of transport, boats, they're all reusable. The weird one that isn't reusable is space.
That's right.
So you can imagine how expensive it would be if every time you flew in a jet that you had to get a new jet,
right.
As opposed to refuel the jet. It would be insanely expensive to fly a jet if it was single use.
There wouldn't be anybody flying.
No, exactly. It would be like a few research flights at extreme expense, and that's all the flying that would occur. So the absolutely fundamental breakthrough that's needed is a fully reusable orbit class rocket and spaceship system, and it needs to be fully and rapidly reusable. So the cost of reuse must be very low, and it must be able to have a high flight rate.
Right.
And that's the fundamental breakthrough needed for humanity to become a multi-planet species.
And I think one of the key enablers there was a program we called Commercial Crew that went into place quite a while ago. And what the vision was that we would have multiple providers competing on cost and innovation. And of course, that has now taken effect. And as you are competing against others in this commercial marketplace,
right.
you have a huge incentive to drive down the cost and increase the access to space. And that's materializing here on this Crew Dragon that we're going to see launch tonight.
Yeah, I actually don't care at all about money, at all. But I do care about us becoming a space-faring civilization.
Yeah.
And I do know that if we don't achieve full and rapid reusability, it will not happen.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason I actually want money at all.
Awesome. Awesome.
Part 8. SpaceX launches Dragon 2 to the ISS in an unmanned test flight.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition, liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Power and telemetry nominal.
For those of you just joining us, you are watching a live view of the Falcon 9 rocket. As you can hear from the cheering here at SpaceX headquarters, we did have a successful main engine cutoff, a stage separation, and as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, that second...
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
Stage 1 entry burn has started.
Look at that plume. Push 3 M1D engines reigniting. All right, let's see if we get it.
Part 9. The Dragon 2 undocks and returns to Earth.
returned to planet Earth. It is now back home, and you can see on your screen our two fast boats racing out to the capsule, now in recovery.
That splashdown came right on time, 5:45 a.m. Pacific, 8:45 a.m. over on the East Coast. The teams that have been ready and waiting, they were staged just a few nautical miles away. They're going to start moving in now. You can see those two fast approach boats already speeding their way towards the capsule.
While there's still a little bit more work to be done at this point, like we said, the recovery team has to safe the vehicle and then lift it onto the recovery vessel. However, obviously by the excited cheers here at Mission Control, the splashdown is an enormous event for us in terms of the safe re-entry, or excuse me, the safe return to Earth from the International Space Station.
That's right, and shortly after they get back onto the ship. In aerospace terms, we call that the crew's egress from the spacecraft, and under the typical circumstances, the SpaceX recovery team is going to be helping out the crew of Dragon within 1 hour of landing.
Yeah, so you can see on your screen there, Dragon is getting closer and closer to the back end of the recovery ship. Just a minute or two ago, we saw the crew member that was responsible for attaching all the appropriate rigging to the vessel jump off the capsule and back into the water. Right now, we're just waiting for Dragon to lift up and out of the water and into the nest.
And there it goes.
So there facing us is what we call the side hatch, and that is where, as Dan just mentioned, the astronauts would, if we had astronauts on board today, where they would be exiting. The top hatch is what we use to connect to the ISS, and that is currently hidden underneath the nose cone. But like we said, astronauts will be coming out of the side hatch. Yeah, and we got a beautiful shot there. Now the hydraulic lift is coming back towards us, and it is preparing to lower the Dragon capsule into its nest. Like we said, we are treating this demonstration mission with the recovery operations as if there were actual astronauts on board. And of course, before we would be able to open the hatch, we would have to make sure that the spacecraft's cabin pressure is equalized with the outside environment before doing so. So once Dragon is seated, and you can hear some cheers behind me as the remaining folks that we have here on the SpaceX team outside of Mission Control are cheering.
Part 10, the Dragon 2 post-landing news conference.
Well, I'd just like to express a very strong note of appreciation for the SpaceX team that's worked. It's been 17 years to get to this point, from 2002 to now, and incredible amount of hard work and sacrifice from a lot of people that gotten to this point. Yeah, to be frank, I'm a little emotionally exhausted because that was super stressful, but it worked so far. We have to dock the station, we have to come back, but so far it has worked. Some of the riskiest items we've passed on the riskiest items. But I'd like to also express a great appreciation for NASA. SpaceX would not be here without NASA. Without the incredible work that was done before SpaceX even started, and without the support after SpaceX did start. We're only partway through the mission, but the system thus far has passed an exhaustive set of reviews, and then in the launch itself, the launch went as expected. So far everything is nominal. The Dragon 2 or Crew Dragon is a fundamental redesign. There's hardly a part in common with Dragon 1, which in retrospect I'll probably change actually, but there's a massive amount of new equipment on the vehicle, and everything appears to be working fine. We've not sought any private customers. Our focus has been on serving NASA's needs, but once Dragon is in regular operation, I think we will seek commercial customers, of which the NASA administrator and NASA in general has been very supportive of that idea. So, but we've been very focused on just making sure that the vehicle worked and maximizing safety and reliability, and we've not put any effort into commercial customers. Sort of private citizens that want to go to the space station, as has happened before. They've always gone on the Soyuz before. You know, there's been a number of people that have gone to the space station on the Soyuz, and I think it would be pretty cool if people went to the space station on an American vehicle as well. You know, Soyuz is a good vehicle, but it'd be good if you know, there were also commercial trips on an American vehicle as well, and that's so I think that's one of the things that we'll do, and obviously NASA is very supportive of that, yeah. So and then you know, maybe there's something beyond the space station. That we'll see. We're gonna focus on getting this right for sure. That's the priority. But then after that, maybe something beyond Earth orbit.
If you like this sort of content, click the subscribe button. Consider giving us a like, and please post a comment below to let us know what you think. Thanks for watching.